Earlier today, John and I sat down with Minority Whip Steny Hoyer, asked him these questions about Afghanistan, about the debt ceiling. Take a look. And joining us now is the Minority Whip in the House, Steny Hoyer. Thank you for joining us here on the couch.
Thank you very much.
It's up here in New York. Let's just jump right into the front page of the New York Times today, talking about Afghanistan, the president wanting to make more significant drawdowns. We're hearing from the Pentagon maybe more modest drawdowns. Tell me what your caucus wants to see from Afghanistan.
Well, I think that there's a feeling in the caucus that there needs to be a significant path towards ultimately turning over responsibility for security to the Afghans. And I think that they want to see that sooner rather than later. And I think they want to see the drawdowns that begin this summer to be more significant than the numbers that were being talked about.
Is there a number that you think?
I don't think there is a specific number, no. And I wouldn't want to mention a specific number. But I think the number needs to be large enough that it indicates a real intention to draw down our responsibility and increase Afghan responsibility for their security.
And can you get Republicans along with you on this?
Well, I hope so. I think certainly there are Republicans who have that sentiment. In fact, there are some Republicans, few in number, but who have indicated that we ought to be getting out sooner rather than later.
Now, we've been spending some time, Diane Sawyer has, in Afghanistan with Secretary Gates and with David Petraeus, and they've both made it clear that they're worried that if this drawdown is too quick, that it's going to give back some of the gains they've made. So my question to you is if they go in the direction of what Secretary Gates is calling modest reductions this summer, but promise bigger reductions sometime maybe by the end of the year, is that going to fly with Democrats in the House?
Well, if you're talking about the end of the year, I think the answer to that is yes. Again, what I think Democrats want to see and what I think the American people want to see is a shift from the U.S. playing the dominating role in Afghanistan to a significant and early transfer of responsibility to the Afghan people. And certainly I think the end of the year, a significant, substantial drawdown would accommodate that objective.
I want to talk for just a second too about the debt ceiling, and we're watching the debate now between the two sides. Do you think that at the end of the day, there's going to be a deal that's cut that will be able to get a majority of Democrats?
I'm optimistic that that will happen.
And what would it have to look like to do that?
But first, let me say this, Amy, before I get to what it would look like. I think the overwhelming numbers of Democratic leaders and Republican leaders both know that not extending the debt limit is not a responsible option, that it would have devastating effect, some people say catastrophic effect, on the economy and on international markets, not just our own economy, but the international markets as well. I think we can reach an agreement. The Biden group is working very hard on getting us to a place where there are significant reductions in spending across the board, including looking at revenues and looking at spending. The Republicans have said they don't want to look at revenues, but I think that ultimately, if there's going to be an acceptable deal, that will be part of it.
Let me ask you about the controversy surrounding Congressman Weiner. As you well remember, when Republican Chris Lee was shown to be sending photos around on Craigslist, he ultimately had to resign. There are reports now, more photos of Congressman Weiner. If this turns out to, in fact, have been something that he did, is this the kind of thing that could force him from Congress?
Well, look, I don't know all the facts concerning this. I do know that Mr. Weiner says that his account was hacked. And as a result, we'll have to see how this plays out, but I wouldn't want to speculate on that now.
Is this the sort of thing, though, that you worry is going to distract from a lot of the work that you're doing right now?
Well, I think certainly. I mean, there are some very, very important critical things that we're dealing with now. Certainly the deficit and debt are primary of those, and we ought not to be distracted from them.
All right. Congressman Hoyer, thank you for joining us on the couch.
Thank you,
We'll see
Amy.
you back in the Capitol.
It's always good we miss you in Washington.
Thanks. I'll be back.